All right. Happy weekend. Happy Sunday. Happy solar eclipse for those of you who've been watching, both internally and externally, with both your hearts and your minds and your eyes. It's been a beautiful eclipse to watch if you go into Boulder, Utah. Really good area to watch it. It was nice, huh? Did anybody see it? We're continuing our work with the solar eclipse portal right now, and we're going to be channeling the Galactic Council of Nine to absorb cosmic energies right now coming up. So we need to talk about the unique cosmic eclipse energies that are going on in this portal between now and October the 28th. We definitely need to talk about how we can release negative energies, purifying the chakra systems associated with this unique eclipse, and what that feels like as you're preparing. It's like a rebirth portal, a portal to become more deeply aware of how to practically become your true self, your true divine self. So this rebirth is happening. And if you feel like you don't know yourself right now, or if things feel a little rushed, you do need to slow down. That was a big message that came about in terms of slowing down and just observing and trusting your mind and your body to process and purify negative energies versus just trying to bypass them or feel differently than how you actually feel. That's one of the themes coming up. So when we're absorbing these energies, one of the tips that the Galactic Council of Nine has to offer is wearing the appropriate colors for this. If you're healing the root chakra, wear reds and browns and earthy colors that accentuate the fire element in your life and accentuate the practical functional use of personal power. We had a lot of discussions with the council earlier in the week about the personal identity and personal power, and people just fighting and vying for attention and personal power, and then simultaneously not liking it when they are actually seen, heard, and listened to. So you can do a quick little review of that channeling if you want to grasp that. But wearing the oranges and the reds and the browns and the deep earthy colors are really helpful. I did that for you today to give you some examples. Gray and white actually absorbs light grays like this shawl today, and white actually will help you absorb the positive eclipse energies that are coming in. And the reds and the browns and the greens actually help you and to release negative energies. And just that simple thing of being able to release what isn't serving you by awareness and letting your soul do that purification for you. All right. Purification is something that the soul is responsible for, not the mind. So many people think you are, spiritually bypassing if you don't go so deep into mind circles and let your ego take over. But according to the Galactic Council of Nine, that is not true. So we don't have to do mind shadow work. This is soul shadow work is what we're going through as we are releasing things. And the mind, it can feel its valid state of emotion in its own unique frequency for whatever is required. The council is noticing a lot of pent up, hurry, 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 get things done type of energy. Everyone closing in on this feeling of like the portals closing around you, sort of like the womb pushing you out into the world. And that energy is a purification energy. And just like yoga, when you're stretching and moving through your bodies right now, it's going to be important to breathe through and exhale a lot. Do some long, slow yoga exhale breaths during your yoga, during your stretching. If you like, stretch yoga, it would be a really good time to imagine negative energies just twisting, sort of like if you have like a washcloth and you're twisting out, these negative energies through your muscles. So when you're stretching, Imagine, this is a direct practical tip from the council. Imagine your muscles just twisting and that yucky stuff coming out the other end. Just twist and then shake your hands. So you can do that with the Reiki movements with your hands in that way where you shake it off. You can do that. They're strongly suggesting lymphatic drainage. But the thing about emotional awareness is while you are connecting your body in this way through lymphatic massage, which you can do for yourself, we'll show you here in a moment, you need to focus on also allowing your body to detox, to crunch up that energy, and then do some somatic shaking is what we call that, to remove that. Tapping alone won't do this. Tapping is going to be better for your October the 28th energy when that portal begins to open. This is a portal where you need to release toxicity and detox strongly, because we don't want to be bringing in old, ancient, karmic energy that was painful from lifetime to lifetime into our newly born acclimating spiritual bodies. They're saying newly born and acclimating. So it's like a baby has to acclimate to the world. And babies typically you don't want to bring in babies with womb energy from, say, when they come in and there's the alcoholic syndrome. We're doing something similar. We're bringing in old energy that's been carrying through lifetime after lifetime. And if we don't physically detox right now and mentally detox the chakra systems, and we're going to talk a lot more about how to do that practically, both from the physical, mental, and emotional perspective. But if you don't do that, it's sort of like allowing your baby to be born in a situation where perhaps the mother has taken drugs and they pull in both the emotional energy of that and the physiological energy of that and how that affects their brains. So the new you is going to feel like doing all these things, like there's this deadlines are closing around you as Divine Mother is pushing you through the womb right now, and you're just feeling squeezed already. So imagine that portal energy being like a womb and squeezing out toxins, leave them behind in the womb of Divine Mother to manage. She can handle it. Earth can handle it. Divine Mother can handle it. Okay, so as you are shifting through this unique portal, it is closing behind you. That's a different type of portal. It's closing behind you, and you are opening up your world in a unique way by coming out pure and clean and holy, leaving those old fears and thought patterns behind you. So this is going to take a lot of psychic energy hygiene, frequency management. And this is the first thing we do is we have to release negative energies, purify, detox, both physiologically and psychologically, so that we're not pulling that through, because you can't just focus on absorbing the powerful, positive, divine self, true divine self identities while also carrying toxicity. Those two things are not like each other. Do you see what I'm saying? So this rebirth is happening, and it's interesting because people are like, get things done, get things done, get things done. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Are you getting that chop, chop, chop energy going on? Hurry, hurry, hurry. There's a lot going on. So I need you to understand that practically you could be getting a lot of things done very quickly, but psychologically and emotionally, you need to slow down and breathe, use lymphatic draining and Zen yoga and any stretch yoga, any type of yoga that sort of twists the muscles. Breathe through it and imagine that your physical field is twisting, that your chakras are kind of being, wrung out like a washcloth right now. All right. Because we need to remove that urgency, because while this is a rather urgent situation for the human conscious collective right now, that we grow and that we are reborn spiritually together, that feeling of urgent doesn't always feel good. So consider all that. Okay. What else? I want to go over some of that before we go into the next topic of how to release, because we're not just releasing individually, we're releasing collectively. And we don't want to be focusing so much always on what the collective is doing. That's wokeism. And wokeism is still holding a lot of people back, because when you are dependent upon what's happening and what does or doesn't happen in your governments and on whatever you see on the news that's highly unreliable anyway, that's not actually what's going on in the level of your cosmic soul. So if you put too much focus on that right now, that's a big block. That's holding a lot. Wokeism is still holding a lot of people back when you're worried about, what's happening. And we don't want to close or turn a blind eye to it. That goes back to the council calls the thing we do, the ego thing we do. So we go back to that thing that we do often, where people attempt to make you feel guilty when you're focusing on detoxing and purging your mind and body and preparing your soul to really be reborn. People come in and say, well, what about Israel and Palestine? Don't you care? That's that thing that we do again. Do you know what we mean by the thing? The thing that we do is we make one thing right and then we negate everything else. It's really, really common in spiritual awakening that we cling on to whatever we've made or deemed important to our egos. In this case, wokeism relies upon what the awareness of everything that's going on. And if you don't follow and put all your intention to it, then people say you're not awake. But that couldn't be further from truth. We have to detox that idea, squeeze and detox that idea. Because, those constructs are holding you in a place of wondering when things will change. And, all the woke community is like, well, it's going to change. And they're giving you all these promises. Half the woke community is saying everything's going to change. And wait, you just wait and see. Well, how long has QAnon been saying that you're going to get some disclosure about JFK or people that they think are alive that are actually dead, that are just going to come back and, we're going to see. My woke friends have been telling me that for 15 years, we're going to see. Well, okay. What does that have to do with your true divine nature and how awake your soul is? And if you are a practical, healthy, physically and mentally healthy, functional starseed, are you having a practically healthy human life? So these constructs of wokeism are holding many people back, and you're waiting on something to happen, always waiting on something to happen. In this portal, right now is your time. The rebirth is happening now, and you're being pushed out of the wokeism construct because you're tired of it letting you down. Something happening. And aren't you tired of that feeling of just waiting on it? Who cares? How about how you feel right now? Right? You can accept all past. Don't do the thing again by saying, well, the council and Pamela are both saying, that those paths aren't right. No, that's wherever people are is wherever people are. But for people finding this community and finding this message, where you are is that you're tired of that. And where you are is that you're tired of that being judged as spirituality as well, and being deemed spiritual, that if you don't pay attention and know everything that's happening in the news and everything that's happening and whatever political leader is finally being, ousted for child sex trafficking, that you aren't a spiritual person if you don't know every single thing that's happening, right? The New Age community can be really bad about that as well. They're like, oh, you didn't know about the portal? You didn't know about the eclipse? You didn't know about the this, the that, the this, the that? Aren't you exhausted? I know this channel is. It is exhausting. So your bodies are just trying to keep up. And while you're being detoxed and squeezed by the world right now, out of the 3D, out of the 4D, into the 5 dimension, and into 5th density experiences, you can't take your attachment to the 3D with you. It won't go. It won't come out of the birth canal. It's like trying to be born with a placenta attached to you that then rots and infects you. Right? So these are drama creations that are for the people who are experiencing them, who are actually going to remain right where they are with it. They're just going to be right there looking at what's happening and whatever breadcrumbs are dropped by QAnon next and whatever's happening on YouTube next that catches your attention. This is not spirituality. This is like toxic stuff. So beware of the wokeism going on and just walk away. Walk away. All right. It's for whoever. It's if you find this and you find this offensive, if you are with it and it's helping you, stay with it. Take what serves you if you want to stay there. But it won't belong in 5D constructs. You won't go with everyone else because you're still stuck on trying to resist, and what you resist persists according to cosmic and universal law. And when you're resisting and just pushing against things, that's not a true 5D nature. So then you stay stuck with 3 and 4D while the rest of the communities are moving deeply into their soul nature, their true divine nature. And you're still stuck looking at everything that's happening in wokeism, right? Not a popular message right now, not exactly what YouTube is going to want to hear. I may end up turning the comments off because you're going to think I'm judging you or the council is judging you, but I'm trying to get you back to your true divine nature. And this is why we give you these messages from the Galactic Council of Nine, right? So you need to be like this, your blinders on towards everything that you want to be in your true divine nature. Every part of you that's rebirthing right now and opening up to who you want to be. Yes, you're being pushed out of the womb. This is like almost like an early birth for the human conscious collective. We feel a little bit, pushed out too soon. But at the same time, you can't carry that placenta with you. All that wokeism is just empty, toxic stuff that's like being birthed with a placenta. That's the image they're giving me. And it will infect you. And it could also infect, everything around you, even the beings birthing you. It's a hard message for me to bring to you today. And if I have to continue to really deeply moderate comments or turn them off altogether, I don't want to have to, but that's just, it's not going to wake yourself up. That wokeism isn't truly waking you up. And the rebirth is happening differently this time, and you're going to have to leave that behind, or you just stay where you are. You can't tell me how that's going into 5D. That doesn't belong in 5D. How does it work with that? It's something to just ask yourself, how does all that fear and all that toxicity really work when you're already perfect, healthy, and whole? How does that work? How can you bring that with you? Those things don't really belong, right? So judgments and attachments, that's another message coming through. But before I get into judgments and attachments, I want to talk about just gentle lymphatic massage because it's a big message from the council today. Do you guys do that? You can do that for yourself. It's going to look really funny, but you can do that for yourself. Just gentle, like here are the lymphatic marks that go down in this direction. Here's some more. Okay. It's just, I'm going to mess up the small amount of makeup I have, but these are some ways that you can just, and imagine when you're doing that for lymphatic massage, that you kind of also shake out your hands. Don't hold that in your hands. You're going to need more than tapping for this one. Tapping is an awareness point, but we need to move energy out. Sorry, that looks weird. All right, so those are some of the whole points there. And you're going to go down into your belly and do the same thing, except in this motion around in your belly. You're going to go down in the groin area to the left and right of your sits bones and do the same thing all the way down your IT band on your left and right side of your quads, all the way down behind your knees. Okay, and then just keep going down. And that's what you're going to be doing. And then down to your feet, and then removing your feet and ending with an Epsom salt or sea salt bath to purify. That's one thing you can do practically and physically to release negative energies as you're going through this spiritual rebirth process. Okay. So in this case, you're not going to push your lymph towards your heart in this way. We're going to push it down a little bit, but then as we get into the belly, we're going to move out, because we're moving out old energy patterns and identity patterns that we've been hanging on to or afraid of. Okay. All right. I want you to be aware of and purify thought streams that are basically, the best way I could describe it is like stagnant, stuck, powerless thought streams. They're not necessarily always super negative, but it's sort of like the I can't do this before I do that energy, and therefore I'm stuck. Do you understand that energy pattern? It's like, well, I want to get here, but I can't get there because I haven't done this. That unique energy of I can't be where I need to be because of something or someone. That's the unique judgment pattern that the council is talking about today. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense because I haven't done that, or that doesn't make sense because this hasn't happened. So you're thinking about the future and where you want to be, but then you're saying, but I can't be there because some threshold hasn't been crossed. So in that unique linear thought pattern, that's holding you back. I can't have this without having that. I can't be here without doing that. That interesting ABCD, not stepping into your future because you're still holding on and waiting on something from the past to change your present. Does that make sense with what they're saying there for you? We have to purify that specific thought stream right now to remove negative energies that block and hold us back. All right. Yeah. I am not feeling well today. Pay attention to what your body, there's a lot of solar plexus energy being detoxed right now. And this is why I might have to end this live stream pretty early because my stomach is doing that. It's like, nope, we are not going to keep channeling right now. I might have 10 minutes tops. 10 minutes tops. I'm not fatigued. Some people are saying they're very fatigued. I don't feel that. I feel invigorated. The council is saying most people will feel refreshed. It's like even if you feel physically tired, there will be like a mental, passionate fire element energy going on. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Judgments and attachments. They listed the one judgment that really, that linear pattern. The attachments are primarily the energy of food and the energy of emotional food, both physical food and emotional food is what they're saying. That's the unique attachment that's being healed through in this eclipse. So, yeah. My stomach's been a mess today, right behind the solar plexus. It's been a mess because it's just detoxing. It's not that you're eating bad things per se always. It's just a detox point in time in that way of as you're detoxing old toxic patterns mentally, your stomach is going to be affected. So just keep yourself warm. Keep yourself warm. And be aware that anxiety is the energy of release that most people are going through is the stomach saying, you know what, if you continue to allow the mind to be in fear and to hold anxiety energy, the stomach's going to detox that mind energy for you. If you won't let it go, your stomach will literally let it go. So a lot of constipation that turns into excess diarrhea, a lot of alternating bouts of the constipation and the diarrhea are going on, right? Yeah, so those are some of the energies that are being detoxed, but the attachment patterns have to do with us wanting to do things the old way, that the old us would, how we would typically handle things from the old self. And sort of the stuck point here for most people is you don't know exactly how new you would handle things. So it's easy to revert back to old fear patterns, right? We don't know exactly what new us wants to do or what, the new you would do because it's new to you. And that feeling is new to you. So how do we manage that? Right? Yeah. You can move into new parts of yourself without knowing what that looks like, what you're going to say, what you're going to do, and how that's going to feel like in your words and actions. That takes a deep degree of trust in your true divine self, in your cosmic nature, old you isn't going to know. And then stomach just ties into knots while you're releasing all the toxic energy that the old you would have wanted to express or say or do. Right. Okay. Now we have a little bit of time probably to go into questions. Any questions about this eclipse energy that we're moving through from yesterday? The portal opened yesterday for the 2023 solar eclipse, and it's going all the way into October the 28th. And then I'll have to start preparing you for that one too, because that one, oh my goodness. It's like they gave you the good stuff before that. If you think this is hard, like that one's harder, right? So this prepares you for really releasing any attachments towards depression, anxiety, or dark night of the soul, because on the 28th, you're going to be facing all the things that you're actually afraid of. So right now, we have to detox all the things that aren't serving us so that we can face our deepest fears in divine love. Okay. Questions for anyone who is in chat. You've come to the channel at a time where we can ask your questions about anything that's going on for you. Yeah, Jenny says she's been feeling like she has a need to have a huge crying session. But she can't because she's always been such a strong person. Yeah, but it's not a matter of the mind says, well, how can I do that? How can I let that happen? How can I do rebirth? But it's not the mind's job. It's not the mind's job to create action for rebirth. That's the soul's journey. So what you need to do, according to the Galactic Council of Nine, is connect to your soul and ask your soul, can you do this for me? My mind doesn't know how to do this because we've never done it before. This is new for the mind and the body. So can you take over? Connect to your soul and invite your soul to take over and to allow that rebirth process to be as fastidious and efficient and painless as possible. The grief is definitely a part of what some people are carrying through right now, but mostly I'm seeing a lot of people carry through tension and anxiety. And that's what we need to detox. Yeah, I'm feeling you, Mary. She says, I've been feeling many strong emotions and unable to eat like normal. Yeah, I was so sick yesterday. Anything I would eat was just coming up one side or the other. And it feels like that's what's going to happen today, too. I had just a gentle, pure protein bar. It was so pure. And my stomach's like, yeah, I wish you hadn't have done that because we're going to get that out of you. Like as soon as this happens, I'm probably going to be in the bathroom for like an hour. It's ridiculous. I feel so bad right now. So you're not alone in that. If you're unable to eat normal right now, don't be afraid to fast and just drink some. Now would be a really good time to work on some adaptogens, to pull in some nice adaptogens into like ashwagandha and shatavari root, and astragalus, and gentle adaptogens would be really good. And maybe just calm the stomach, adding some licorice root would be helpful. Any tips for astral boundaries? No. The council says you need to be working on your physical boundaries. So many people are concerned about what's happening on the astral that they don't actually live active, practical, safe, happy physical lives. When you have good physical and emotional boundaries, what happens on the astral will reflect that, not the other way around. Tina wants to know, how can we release fear? The council says right now, fear is something that's being released in physical detox. You can release it through breath and exercise, lymphatic massage. Fear is being released from your mind by the soul itself. So you don't have to think your way through this and get, a mental cognitive blueprint on, okay, now I'm going to Om Mani Padme Hum 1,000 times. No, if your soul wants you to Om Mani Padme Hum, you're gonna, right? So, all right, guys, I'm going to close early today because I'm right there with you on the detox and I just can't. I can't channel for the rest of typically I try to stay on for at least 40 minutes or an hour, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. And I appreciate you being here for the channeling and follow the links at the top of the chat if you want more. I will see you next time. I'll come on again next week. Have a good day. Bye.